Fighting for truth, justice, strippers, and whiskey. Did I mention strippers?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, right there.
I'm leaving right after this drink. Rock and roll, whiskey, and other stories with Brian Shaw.
Cheers. And welcome to episode 32 of I'm Leaving Right After This Drink, Rock and Roll, Whiskey, and Other Stories. First of all, let me just say thank you once again to Tits McGee for getting me this bottle of Whistle Pig number 6. Age 6 years, the Whistle Pig piggyback. Man, this stuff is so good. And yeah, I've traded it out the last couple of episodes instead of having my normal Jack Daniels. So what of it? And I know you're thinking, dude, are you like just nursing that bottle? Well, let me just tell you this much. When you're down with back pain, like even though you might think I'm just going to drink away that pain, nah, drinking is not really on the top of your list. Let me just tell you that. But you know, we've talked about the back issues the last couple of episodes, and so just going to give you a really quick update, and then we're going to kind of get into tonight, and going to do something a little bit different tonight. I haven't done this before, and but here's the back update. Going in for surgery on Friday, and yeah, I'm a little nervous. I think anytime you go in for surgery, you have to be a little bit nervous, right? But I feel pretty good about it. Like it's an outpatient deal. I'm getting what they call a microdiscectomy. And yeah, we're going to hope this really saves the day because, man, I have done everything and still very little relief to what's going on. I'm still walking around like really limping really bad and just really crazy. It's uncomfortable to get in and out of my car. Like it takes like a minute and a half to get in and out of the car. Like it's absolutely the most insane thing I've ever experienced. And I got to tell you, man, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy to have this kind of pain. That is really how bad it is. But hopefully after this this Friday, the 6th, everything will be, you know, going in the right direction, and we'll start to heal. And you know, I'll get to still make it to the couple of shows that I got coming up in April, and I got some shows to go see in May and June. Like, so like I'm really looking forward to kind of just getting back into the swing of things. And you know, I'm also going to say thanks to Tits McGee, who hung out last night, and at kind of the last weekend that I'm going to be out for a few weeks at least because I got to recover from this, and I'm not sure how long I'll be down, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to really be wanting to go out, especially obviously next weekend. I'm not going to be going out anywhere, but the weekend after, you know, still be chilling out, trying to get this thing to heal and make sure everything is done right. So, hey, Tits McGee got 2 mentions, now 3, just because I gotta try and like just get that name in every episode just for, you know, shits and giggles. Also want to thank my acquaintance Mike for hanging out, having a couple of beverages today also, and then you know, tonight I'm having some Whistle Pig 6. It's good stuff. So just kind of that's the update. So you won't probably see a podcast from me for another couple of weeks, which is still kind of on point as I've been knocking them down though so far this year. So I'd like to, you know, give myself a little pat on the back for that one. Also, gotta say thanks to the good folks at the Nashville Pussy swag store. These guys fucking killed it. Got my new Nashville Pussy shirt on. And like literally you make an order, and that day shipped out. Had my 2 shirts in like 4 days. Absolutely amazing. And you know, one can never have enough Nashville Pussy t-shirts, and I've got quite the collection going now, which is crazy. But hey, so what? I absolutely love the band, and that poster right there, still one of the prized possessions in the place. As we kind of get into tonight, I'm going to do something a little bit different. So first of all, I'm going to put down the whiskey, and I'm going to have a drink first. This one's probably going to be a quick episode too, because, you know, I'm still in a little bit of pain, as it still hurts to sit down. It kind of hurts to stand up. You don't know what to do, but you make it, right? So tonight, I was just kind of scrolling through like music news and shit. And do you ever just scroll through stuff and you go, who is asking these questions to these people? Like, this is the one thing I hate about, like, podcasts and the internet and everything. It's allowed everyone to be an interviewer. Suddenly everybody's got credibility, which is total BS, right? And what I mean by that is like, as I scroll through the headlines on blabbermouth.net, and I'm sure a lot of you rock and roll fans will know this website, but here's the headline: Wolfgang Van Halen on his connection to Van Halen. I think it's always going to be a thing that gets brought up. No shit. I mean, seriously? Your last name is Van Halen. Your dad was like one of the greatest guitar players ever. I mean, what the fuck? What kind of headline is that? Like, that's not even enough to make me, that's not even like a clickbait headline. That's a stupid fucking headline. Then we have Don Dokken on touring with Metallica in 1988. They kicked our butts. They crushed us. Again, is anyone surprised by that statement? I mean, seriously, nobody is surprised by that. So like I said, man, I'm just kind of scrolling through and, just scrolling through some headlines and just kind of talking shit, because why not? Me and my friend Jeremy and Randy, like, we like to do this kind of shit in a group text. We like to talk shit because we can, and it's kind of funny. And we talk shit on everything. So it's not just like me. I mean, it is everything. So like, here's another one. Like, these are just the first 3 headlines that I'm seeing today. Glenn Drover names 3 guitarists he recommended to possibly replace him in Megadeth. Why? I'm sure Dave Mustaine had a really good idea of who he was going to replace him with when the time came. What else do we got? Let's see. Dirk from Megadeth. He says, pretty sure Megadeth will document the farewell tour with new live album. I think it would be cool. Now, we all know, just as sure as I'm sitting here in pain and you're sitting here watching this, that the Megadeth farewell tour is going to be like every other farewell tour we have heard about, and it's going to last for years, right? And again, I agree. I watched an interview with Paul Stanley, probably a few months ago now, and he's talking about, like, hey, why should you tell me when to end my career? Like, I would still want to play these places. I still want to say farewell to these fans, which is totally cool and totally understandable. But can we just not call it a farewell tour at that point? Like honestly, Kiss was going to retire in like 1996, and they just stopped. I mean, but anyhow, so we know the Megadeth farewell tour is going to last a long time. What else we got here? Oh, this is a good one. Jonathan Cain says NFL's decision to recruit Bad Bunny for Super Bowl halftime show was based on greed. They were grabbing for Latin America viewers. Listen, again, who the hell is interviewing this guy and asking about the Super Bowl halftime show and his thoughts on the Super Bowl halftime show? Like, I don't understand, as a guy who used to interview people, and I've interviewed like everybody, right? In my career, I was fortunate enough to interview a ton of folks, and I don't understand. It never crossed my mind to interview them and talk about politics or some of the nonsense that was going on in the world at the time. The only thing that I ever asked artists about, like something that was like topical and not necessarily direct relation to their career, but it really was, because that was the time when like Napster and shit was going on, and how like that affected their careers because of all the music that was now free and all that kind of stuff. So, like, again, and who gives a shit what Jonathan Cain has to say about Bad Bunny and the NFL? I mean, excuse me, that's like asking what my opinion is on Bad Bunny and the NFL. I'll say it again, just like I said in the last episode. The NFL is not targeting you, Jonathan Cain. They are certainly not targeting me. So, can we just move on and people just stop talking shit about the Super Bowl at this point? Like, get over it already. Good God. What else we got? As I just kind of scroll through here, I always kind of get amused, going through here and looking at stuff. Sebastian Bach fully supports Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson's decision to tour again as Rush. There's no reason for them to stop. Again, if I'm interviewing Sebastian Bach, why am I talking about Rush? Because they're from Canada? Who gives a shit? Like, talk something cool with Sebastian, not about Rush. Like, I interviewed Sebastian Bach in probably like 1999 or whatever. And the only thing I was told was to make sure that I didn't mention that Skid Row was a hair band because that was going to piss him off. Now, at that time, it certainly wasn't even about gotcha moments or whatever. And I never did. But me and him had a really cool conversation about the riot in 1991, I believe, in St. Louis when they opened up for Guns N' Roses. And the interview was all about that. Like, it was absolutely hysterical because he was, he got a kick out of the fact that I was actually in the crowd that night. And, and we just had a really awesome interview. And, nowadays, I think Sebastian's kind of a douche. To be honest, when you read some of his headlines and stuff, you're kind of like, dude, like, are you just trying to be an idiot and like, make sure your fans don't buy any more of your shit? So, yeah. Twisted Sisters JJ French says the record industry is a criminal organization. Okay. We'll just move on from that one because nobody really cares. And let's see, what else we got? I'm not a big fan of Rush and never have been. Not sure why. I don't think I just really ever liked like his voice and stuff. Like, it was just never my thing. And don't get me wrong, they got great fucking songs. And like every like live thing I've ever seen from them has been fantastic. Like, so the shit that they do is absolutely amazing. I'm just not a huge Rush fan. But Geddy Lee on Anika Nils, I think is her name. We just started playing with her. When we started playing with her, something felt wrong. But by the 5th day, she just fucking nailed it. So you know what? Good for Rush. Like, let these guys go out and do shit. Here's what I think is hilarious about this, though, is the tour, like the tickets went on sale like a year before the tour date was ever going to happen. Like, are we really serious now that we got to put these shows on sale a year ahead of time? I mean, my God. Remember when it used to be like 3 months? Like, the good old days was cool when you had to go get a ticket. You had to get a line ticket just to get in line to buy tickets for the show. That'll tell you how old I am right there. But that was the cool times when you got to stand in line to buy tickets because you got to like talk to other fans and shit. And that was always, that was always fun. Paul Gilbert's got a new album out and called WROC. And I can't remember what it stands for, Washington something, something, something. But I'm kind of curious about this record. I've heard some tracks. They're kind of cool. I like Paul Gilbert. Of course, I love his work in Mr. Big. And he's actually going to be coming to town, I think in like June or something, playing a little venue in Largo. So I haven't decided if I'm going to go to that show or not, but I'd kind of like to go and check that out just because, again, Paul Gilbert's a fucking awesome guitarist. Let's see. What else we got? Just kind of scrolling through just for shit that just kind of, crosses my eyes here with anything. I thought it was pretty awesome that Anthrax teasing, supposedly, jokingly teasing a new song during their Canadian tour, which is awesome because this record's going to be fucking killer. Like, I gotta, when they played that snippet, if you watch the video, it sounds pretty badass. So definitely looking forward to that. Ex-Iron Maiden singer Blaze Bayley names his favorite Metallica album. Again, do we care? Like, if you're interviewing this dude, first of all, I don't know why you're interviewing this dude because this guy has been in an Iron Maiden for fucking 50 years. So who cares, right? But if you're going to interview this dude, no, he wasn't the guy I'm thinking of, but he hasn't been in the band in a long time, right? Like, if you're going to interview this dude, like, why are you talking about Metallica? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand people interviewing these days. Like, it's just so fucking strange. Like, I feel like everybody's just trying to have like this gotcha moment or some shit, and it's just really fucking annoying. Like, how about just interviewing the fucking artist because you're a fan of them? You want to talk about their new record or the new project that they're doing or the new tour or whatever it is. Like, it's crazy. There's so many things to talk about with these individuals, and then you guys go like political and shit. Stop it. Just fucking stop it. 9 Inch Nails releases the song. Yeah, who gives a fuck about those guys? Definitely don't give a shit about them. Let's see what else we got. Drowning Pool teams up with Arizona's Sorry X for the Wrong One single. Now, I got to tell you, man, I like Drowning Pool. Of course, who didn't love the first record? And until the guy unfortunately passed away super early when that song Bodies was just taken off. And and then Ryan McCombs comes in, does a few albums, and those albums were really fucking cool. And then he left, and now he's back, and he's doing double time with Drowning Pool and Soil and stuff. But there's times when I thought, man, how come Drowning Pool just didn't just totally change their name and rebrand and do something else? I don't know, man, but it's really weird. Good luck to those guys, and I hope everything is good with those guys. And I guess we'll just kind of wrap it up on this one, because Rob Zombie shares music video for FTW84 from the Great Satan album. And can we just talk a minute about Rob Zombie? Now, I got a great story about Rob Zombie that I will share on a future episode, because Rob Zombie's a dick. But outside of that, this new record, no good. It's no good. And I honestly, if somebody would have told me, back when I was a teenager or something, that hey man, if you just say yeah and motherfucker and put a really cool guitar riff in it, you could be a musician like Rob Zombie. Yeah, you might have went another path. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that, because the new record, I haven't heard the whole thing, but the songs I have heard, not a fan. And I got to tell you, the last 3 records, haven't been a big fan of Rob Zombie. And I don't think the guy's done a really killer record for a long time. And, and by the way, why do you put movie clips before every song, or some old horror clip or something for every song? And then you end it on, it's dude, get the fuck out of here with this shit. Just make a goddamn record that's, 2-3 minute songs. Dude, you killed it. We're in, we're out. It's done, right? That's what it should be. But dude, this guy's got to put these stupid tracks beforehand. And it's dude, who cares, right? Now, John 5, the fact that John 5 actually was in Rob Zombie's band for as long as he was is kind of crazy, because John 5 is a super nice dude. And the same night that I met Rob and was kind of a dick, John 5, on the other hand, was super cool. And then that was the time Joey Jordison was still in the band. And that guy, was this tall. And he had this super tall, girlfriend. It was crazy. And I mean, she was gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, as I would have expected. But anyhow, so we'll get into our Rob Zombie experience, or my Rob Zombie experience, definitely down the road, because it's definitely a great story. It's absolutely a hysterical story, because I'm not going to lie, my friend that I was with that was interviewing him was kind of a douche to him, but it's still all played out, and Rob Zombie could have definitely had a way better sense of humor than what he did. So, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Just trying something new, just kind of scrolling through some music headlines just for, shits and giggles. And, but again, everybody, thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing the podcast, whatever you do to support it, man. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the texts and the emails coming in, and, just kind of giving me some encouragement about my back and all that kind of shit, man. It is greatly appreciated. And we'll see you on the other side of this surgery, my friends. Cheers.
Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe. You dig?
God bless the internet.